No, she hasn't made it yet. And Tatiana, she'll be here in a moment. Okay, good, good. Actually, I was looking for her, but she's not here yet. So what I like to do, right, is I like to bring up a BSU member, president of Cal Berkeley, who's going to share a spoken word piece with you. Hey, Saleh.
Right on, thank you. So it's not a spoken word piece, but it's a few words I put together. So over the past semester for me, I've been through a lot of people that I know, working with people in the Oscar Grant movement, and it's really been a blessing for me. And it's an honor and privilege to even be up here on this stage to share some words. So when I was asked to speak, I really took some time to reflect on what Oscar Grant really meant to me, what it meant to my family and my friends, and I came up with a few things. And really it's what my heart feels, my mind was thinking, what my body is doing, and maybe even a little bit about my soul too. But I like to start with my heart, and because I believe that's where really everything that we should do should be coming from. And from my reflection, I can see that Oscar Grant really had this huge ripple effect that is almost inconceivable to me, to see that you really can't quantify how many people he's touched. And really just the people who are collected here is just a small window into the amount of people that he's connected with. His story has caused people to pause and reflect and really see, what does it mean to be black in America, right? What does it mean to be a black man? And even though his story in many ways is filled with a lot of pain, with a lot of hurt, with a lot of anger, and justifiable anger, righteous rage, really what all I've gotten from the Oscar Grant movement is love. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the people I've been able to connect with. And really, I didn't have the privilege of being able to meet Oscar, but just by seeing what impact he had on people makes me think that I wish I would have had the time just to really to kick it with him and to know him as a person, right? But the second thing is the mind. And as brother said, I go to UC Berkeley. I pay $15,000 a year to just sit around and think. So the mind's kind of my forte. And I came to the conclusion that there only is and only will be one Oscar Grant. And this I'm sure of, right? But there's a lot of people who have a similar story, who have a similar ending or a similar transition, really. And not only is there people who have a similar story, it's part of a greater narrative, right? A greater narrative that's not disconnected from a lot of other issues that the black community deals with. It's not disconnected with high unemployment, with poor health and low life expectancy, with sisters having to sell their bodies right here on the streets of Oakland. These things aren't disconnected. And when I got to thinking, and I got to really pondering on what Oscar Grant meant to me, when he was killed, I was in high school, right? And for a high school student, a black male going through that's a time where you really developing your perception of the world, your perception of all these different systems that are affecting my lives and the lives of my brothers and my sisters, and I have to really thank Oscar for allowing him to elevate my thinking, to connect his story to really a much greater system. And that's something that I urge my family and my friends whenever I talk to them, is to elevate this conversation, right? Bring this conversation to show that Oscar Grant is not just a symbol of the extra-legal violence inflicted upon us by the occupying army of the U.S. that we call the police, right? He's also a symbol of this greater system of oppression. He's a symbol of these greater things that we as a collective have to fight against. And really, that's where my mind's going, right? My mind is that this is a country of death, oppression, and the pursuit of profits. And Oscar Grant is allowed to show me that. But it can't just be heart and mind, right? I can't just sit around, pay $15,000 for thinking. I have to connect that with some sort of action. And that's what I really have a great appreciation for the Oscar Grant movement is being able to be engaged with that action. And for me, that means following really the tradition of the Panthers, which is to have an analysis of your reality and then apply the force to be able to change that reality. Right? Because that's something that all of us, I'm sure, are very aware of, that we can sit around, we can theorize about what it is, but we have to change things to let it be what we need it to be. And that's on a micro and a macro, from really showing the people that I care about that I can be a better son, a better brother, a better community member. But then also on the macro of organizing black students at UC Berkeley. But I'm going to end with one last lesson that I got from Oscar Grant, and that's around the issue of my soul. And what Oscar taught me was there's a difference between hope and faith. The hope is a belief in a wish, right? And what I believe really the black community and a lot of people in general have been fed this idea of hope to immobilize us, right? When faith is a belief in an action. That's right. Faith is a belief that us as a collective can liberate ourselves from where we are today. And maybe to break it down, make it more clear, you can't faith on the couch. You can't be faithing on the couch. You can hope on the couch behind the TV screen and hope that things fall into place where they need to be, but you can't faith on the couch, right? And the thing is, black people have always struggled. The question is it going to be a struggle for survival or a struggle for liberation? That's right. So we can hope that we make it to another day. We can hope that there's not going to be another story similar to Oscar Grant, or we can have faith that us as a collective can elevate the conversation, elevate our actions to make sure that never happens again. Right? And I got, for those who study the Bible, for those who are Billie Holiday fans, I got a line that says, God bless the son that has his own, right? And that's what faith is. God blesses the community that gets together and organizes. Because I don't care what religion you attest to, what book you study, what God you praise, no doctrine has ever said, sit on the couch and it shall be. No doctrine has ever said that, right? And really, this is for people who may not even be here, but we're able to hear this, is that we as a community, we as a people must get together and organize and actually take action, actually change the realities that we have to go through. And really, I just want to end on that. Oscar Grant really solidified for me my own faith, my own understanding of the world, a lot of different things, and I really have a deep appreciation for him, appreciation for the Oscar Grant movement, for the people that I've been connected with, and I hope we can all mourn his death, but also celebrate his life and honor his story. So thank you.
Thank you, Marcel. Give it up for Marcel Jones, chair of the Black Student Union at UC Berkeley. I appreciate that teaching about faith. One thing I learned from Oscar's family is the power of faith. And so seeing Wanda Johnson's tremendous faith that justice would come for her son, and that he had purpose in not just his death, but his life. Coming up next is, first I'm very pleased to introduce, honored to introduce, brother coming from, he came all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, not Pittsburgh at the end of the BART line, but Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And not too long after Oscar Grant was murdered, he did a tribute, and actually at the first vigil we did, I was able to recite those words. So I'm glad that the brother is here now, and he can share the words that he shared. So please welcome Jasiri X.